Gilbert, what are you doing all day in a cave? Oh, I know. You're waiting for the next broadcast of Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking theater.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Welcome to Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking theater.
Ah, my lords and ladies, geeks, geekerellas, geekulas, and geekeritas. I am Lord Blood-Rah, and this is Lord Blood-Rah's Nerve-Wrackin' Theater. And tonight's film is all about fear. Now, you could say that most of the films we show here in the Nerve-Wrackin' Theater concern fear, but this one is about how fear can warp a person's perceptions, can make them paranoid, can make them fear that which should not be feared. My lords and ladies, tonight we have a classic from 1933, starring Lionel Atwilll, everybody's favorite madman Dwight Frye, and the lovely Wray. Tonight, it's The Vampire Bat. Yes, my lords and ladies, everybody fears poor Dwight Frye in this film. But should they? Is poor Dwight, his character's name is Herman in this movie, be feared? We'll have to see, my lords and ladies, we'll have to see. My lords and ladies, here's a true black and white classic from 1933. Here is The Vampire Bat.
But how else can we explain these terrible deaths? Von Ilse last night, 5 others before him. That's 6 within as many weeks, Inspector. Our friends, neighbors that we'd known for years, drained of their life's blood, found dead in bed, lifeless skeletons of skin and bone. Vampires are at large, I tell you. Vampires.
Yeah. Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
Gotten him of Schneider, don't jest.
That blood-sucking legend belongs in the same category with werewolves and all other peasant superstitions.
But the bats, man. The bats. God, yes. Big ones, so.
Oh, now we're switching to bats again.
There was an epidemic of giant bats in Kleinschloss in 1643. And at the same time, there was an outbreak of vampirism.
Rot.
Why, this record from the town archive proves it.
Says it, not proves it.
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. Now, here it is. And on this day was von Hausmann hanged from a gibbet in the public square after being convicted on a proven charge of vampirism. And on this same day, there did occur the departure of the bats. Thousands of horrible flying creatures which infested the town for weeks. And on the night of this same day, February 13, in the year of our Lord, 1643, was there a stake driven through von Hausmann's heart and his head cut off with a grave digger's shovel. There.
Well, all the records in the world can't make me believe in vampires. There are blood-sucking bats, yes. In South America, thousands of miles from here, but not in Kleinschloss.
But bats fly. They could fly here. You saw the bodies. All of them. 2 wounds on the neck, right at the jugular vein. 2 wounds on the neck, pierced and spread apart just as if 2 fang-like teeth had bitten through the flesh and right into the veins. And in every case, a blood clot, 8 inches from the victim's neck, the mark of the feast, the devil's signature.
Does that appear the mark of a human being or a demon's?
God save us, the devil's.
You ought to make a pretty fair meal for a vampire. But let's be consistent. Are these human vampires or bats?
Vampires can take the shape of a human or a bat, just as they choose.
Oh, they're magicians. Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
The whole village is in terror. We live in closed houses, behind locked doors and bolted shutters, not daring to close our eyes, fearful lest this unseen silent death may find us in our sleep, for it is then that it strikes. Swiftly, silently, ghastly. My room is tightly closed. The windows are barred, nailed down. Nothing can get in. Nothing.
But they tell me vampires can go through stone walls like that.
God save me. So they can. We've got to do something, I tell you. Kleinschloss will become a deserted village.
Well, you might catch all the bats and drown them in the river.
Carl.
While you're hunting for vampires and chasing bats, I'm looking for a human being. A murderer, a fiend.
Well, then don't jest about it. Do something.
I'm trying to. Every hour, every day, every night since this thing started.
Do you hear it? Hear it? Yes. Night after night. Lying awake until dawn. Waiting.
For what?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. Good night, gentlemen. Don't let the vampires get you.
Can you hear it? She can hear it. Can you? The screaming skull. The voice of the dead will haunt you. The screaming skull. And terror from the year 5000. The screaming skull. The maddening voice of the sightless dead. Horror that'll scare the skin off your bones. The screaming skull. And the blood-curdling terror from the year 5000.
as we return to the vampire bat. Carl Freffenhofer, whatever his name is, seeks solace from a young lady we are much more accustomed to seeing in a jungle than in a laboratory.
Are your kisses dynamite?
Don't you like my kisses? Well, how's my mastermind this evening?
Well, if you want the truth, not so good.
The Burgermeister and his Grand Council still stick to the vampire theory.
Stick to it. Huh. They're quoting history to prove it. I think you and Dr. von Niemann are the only sane people left in the village.
And you? What about you?
Me? Well, I'm beginning to think I'm 7 different kinds of a fool. Murders are being done under my very nose. I must be as blind as the bats themselves. I can't find a single clue.
Oh, but you will, Carl. You will.
Well, I haven't.
Oh, Ruth!
And here comes dear Aunt Gussie to spread good cheer and hope.
Just what I thought. Slaving your life away in this awful place. It hasn't got that nice, clean, wholesome smell of a hospital. How are you, Carl?
Oh, quite well, thank you.
Well, I'm not. This clammy old place is bound to give me pericarditis, enterocolitis, neuritis, well, anyway, rheumatism. You have some coffee?
No, thank you, Frau Stammmann.
No, it's just as well. There's only 2 cups. Yeah, dear. That'll take the chill out of your bones.
Thank you.
Speaking of chills, Frau Schnappmann, did you know the village is supposed to be infested with ghouls and vampires?
Oh, Carl.
Vampires. Pariahs among fiends. Demoniacal creatures with huge canine teeth who bite deeply into the necks of their victims to quaff and gorge on blood. Warm human blood.
There's no such thing as a vampire, Carl Brett Snyder. I don't believe in it. You're just saying that to frighten me. And I just won't be frightened. I'm entirely too sensible to believe in such rubbish.
I beg pardon.
Oh, so it's you.
I'm sorry if I frightened you.
Who said you frightened me? I'm not afraid of anything.
Could you tell me where Dr. von Niemann is?
We drove to the village to see Martha, the old apple woman.
Thank you.
Is this what Dr. Haupt prescribed?
Yes, sir. She takes it in water.
Well, continue giving it to her.
Yes, sir.
It's stifling in here. Open these windows.
Herman open windows. Me do.
Well, she'll sleep well now, poor soul. It won't be necessary for you to stay here. A good night's sleep will work wonders for her.
It was kind of you to come, Doctor.
Oh. Martha has sold me apples for many years. Always a good, ripe, juicy one.
Martha, give me apples. I like.
Oh, Josephine. Oh, good.
She wants her cross.
Herman, get. Herman, get. Here. Here. Now, there. For Martha. There. Oh.
She won't let it out of her sight.
It's a terrible experience. To be attacked by a giant bat is enough to shatter anyone's nerves.
She talks about it all the time. How it flew in her face and tried to sink its teeth in her throat.
No. Bats no do. They soft, like cat. They not bite Herman.
Quiet, Herman. See what you've done.
There, Martha, there. She'll be all right. If she isn't, let me know.
Thank you for coming, Doctor.
That's all right. Good night.
Good night. Run along, Herman. You can see Martha tomorrow.
Oh.
Ah, Dr. von Niemann.
Ah, Kringen, how are you?
Much better, thank you kindly, sir, since you prescribed for me.
That's right.
Go to bed, Herman. Go to bed. You shouldn't be prowling around the streets. Dangerous. Oh. I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what, Kringen?
The bats, sir. Big, giant bats with wings like an eagle's.
You saw this bat, you say?
I saw it swooping down the street. It came directly for my throat, sir.
When was this, Kringen?
Last night when they came to take Von Eltz. It was a big, monstrous thing. I saw it leap across the alley and into a window. I ran just as fast as my legs could carry me.
You said nothing about this?
There's enough fear in the village already. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I will. I'll tell the Burgermeister.
Yes, Kringen. That's the thing to do.
No. Bats good.
They not hurt Herman.
He plays with them.
You no tell.
No. No. Go to bed, Herman. Go on. Go to bed.
You say he plays with bats?
His garret is filled with them. He makes pets of them.
That's odd. Very odd.
Maybe he's it. Herman prowls around the streets all hours of the night, just like an animal. Maybe he's the vampire.
Now, don't start any gossip of that, Kringen. Heaven only knows where it might end. Good night.
Good night, sir.
There. Now. Soft. Nice. There.
See? What did I tell you?
Perhaps there's something in what Kringen says. Seems strange that a human being should want to play with bats.
He isn't human, I tell you. He's in league with the devil.
Now hold on there. Just because somebody plays with bats, prowls around at all hours of the night, and has a scary maniacal laugh doesn't mean they're dangerous. Well, the very thought's ridiculous. What are you laughing at?
I'm Vincent Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill. where so far the ghosts have murdered only 7 people. So won't you come and make it 8? You'll see human heads without bodies. Mysterious pools of blood dripping from the ceiling. The walls move slowly in against you. Don't try to escape, you can't. You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
Put it on. Put it on.
There.
Thanks.
Now go to sleep. You'll be all right in a few days. The doctor says so.
Close the window. Close the window. I'm afraid. The vampire.
Well, he said leave them open, but I'd have them closed. Do you want the light?
Leave the light. I'm afraid.
Well, I can't blame you for that either. I'll turn it down a little. Good night. If you want me, just pound on the floor. I'll hear you.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Martha.
Oh.
Herr Brett Schneider is here to see you, sir. He's in the laboratory with Miss Burton.
Oh, thank you. Ah, here you are.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Ruth. How are you, Carl?
Well, I'd feel a lot better if I could find a solution to these murders.
You don't believe in this vampire theory, then?
Of course not. Do you?
There are many strange happenings, my boy. Many mysteries beyond the power of the human mind to comprehend.
Have you a theory which might explain these deaths?
Well, I'll be pleased to discuss it with you, but not now, not now. I have some very important work to do.
Well, tomorrow, then.
Tomorrow? Yes, perhaps. We'll see. Oh, this isn't so important, Miss Betty, that you can't let it go till tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Doctor. Oh, how about Martha?
Huh? Oh, nothing serious. Just a case of nerves, that's all. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Carl.
Name?
Martha Muller.
Age?
I don't know.
Cause of death?
Like all the rest.
The vampire?
Yes, that's so.
When I said I was going to tell you, his eyes glowed up like coals of fire. His hand reached out towards me, as if he were going to sink it into my throat.
And weigh this well. He never works and never begs, and yet he appears well-fed always.
That's so, he does.
Well, what does he live on, then? I'll wager it's as Kringan says.
And my woman was in Martha's room tonight when Herman put a flower in her hand.
Strange business, if you ask me. Mighty strange.
I hate to be in your shoes, Kringan.
Yes, after what happened tonight, I'd lock myself in my room and pray God to protect me from the devil.
Good evening, Stand Oster. Good evening.
Dr. Von Niemann. Doctor.
Vampire.
Well, what do you make of it, Doctor?
Are these two wounds similar to those found in the other bodies?
Dr. Haupt can answer that for you, sir.
Yes, they were the same in every case.
This is a strange condition, Carl. So strange that I doubt the evidence of my eyes. What was your conclusion, Haupt?
I diagnosed the wounds as having been made by needle-sharp teeth. Punctures are clean cut, penetrating into, but not beyond, the jugular vein.
Do you mean to say that you also believe they could have been made by teeth?
Frankly, I do.
Ah, you see, Brett Schneider?
What kind of teeth, Doctor?
An animal of some sort. It's hard to say. The fangs of a wolf, perhaps.
A werewolf.
Could they have been made by, well, a bat, for instance?
In certain species, yes. There are vampire bats. Dr. William Jamison, who explored many of the tributaries of the upper Amazon, states that blood-sucking bats do exist. He further asserts that the victims often become blood drinkers themselves, citing a case in which he saw a native tortured to death in an anthill by his tribe brothers. They swore he had become a human bat, and, states Jamison, he confessed it.
Do you mean to say that such a thing as a human vampire is possible?
Who can say? Historic records would have us believe that an evil soul, assuming there is such, can take any shape it pleases.
So why not into that of a human being? Eh, Carl? Why not?
Have you any literature on the subject, Doctor?
Yes, I have many interesting volumes on my shelves that might prove very enlightening. I'll be glad to show them to you.
I don't mind admitting that I'm up a tree. Stumped.
Well, we'll see what can be done, my boy.
No, Herman. This is no place for you. Go away, my boy. Go away.
Good night, John.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Hal.
Good night, Doctor.
In the morning, Carl.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm sorry to have dragged you out at an ungodly hour.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. A child fleeing in horror from the sight of death.
There goes the vampire. Arrest him. Lock him up. Kill him.
Has the entire village gone mad? Herman wouldn't harm a baby, and you know it.
I've walked the streets of this village for over 40 years, but tonight's the end. He knows that I've told he plays with bats. He knows that I saw him sneak into Martha's house just before midnight.
Perhaps he was taking her another flower, Kringan. The boy brought her one this evening while I was there.
He killed her just like he did all the rest. And now he's going to kill me. Unless he's killed an estate given to his heart, I'm a doomed man. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm doomed. He'll kill me. He'll kill me. I'm
everyone suspects poor Herman. I don't think he did anything wrong. After all, remember what Karl Kleinenschnitzel said, or whatever his name is.
Herman wouldn't harm a baby, and you know it.
Although, harming a baby, that's kind of a low threshold, isn't it? I mean, he wouldn't even harm a fly. That makes sense, but he wouldn't harm a baby? I mean, who would harm a baby? That's terrible. Anyway, it does kind of make sense that they suspect Herman, because Herman is being portrayed by the man with the 1,000-watt stare, Mr. Dwight Frye. Renfield to Bela Lugosi's Dracula of 1931, and the hunchbacked assistant to the original Dr. Frankenstein in Karloff's Frankenstein, and also the favorite madmen of 1930s and 40s Hollywood. My lords and ladies, Mr. Dwight Frye. And after this, we'll see just how innocent or guilty Herman is.
Why'd you set up the brake? Because I can use you.
This machine utilizes X-ray, ultraviolet, and alpha, beta, and omega rays.
This man is a killer. Mad with dreams of fantastic power.
We're conducting experiments requiring fissionable materials.
That's atom bomb stuff. The government has that locked up tighter than Fort Knox.
You'll work for us faithfully, or you'll be turned over to the authorities. I understand there's a reward of $5,000 on your head.
No money is safe. No man is safe. Nothing stops the amazing transparent man. Into army-guarded secret government vaults he goes, stealing confidential nuclear material, holding in his unseen hands the key to world power. But the amazing transparent man wants first vengeance.
If I choke you hard enough, you'll bring me back.
Good morning, Mr. Brett Schneider. What brings you to Klein Schloss so early?
You!
Fibber, I heard the doctor tell Georgiana he expected you.
I knew there was something else.
You're a delightful prevaricator, Carl, but not a very convincing one.
You don't mind me using your stethoscope, do you, Doctor?
Not at all, Frau Schnappmann. But what seems to be the ailment this morning?
What's that? Oh.
What seems to be the ailment this morning?
Well, Doctor, I am positive that I have valvular leakage of the aorta. Or maybe it's the right ventricle. There is something wrong with my heart. I can hear it beat, thump, 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 just like the book says.
Well, if you didn't hear it beating thump, 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 just as the book says, I would say there is something wrong.
What? Without a moon?
You have a heart of stone.
All right, then. Close your eyes. No.
Oh, so, young lady.
It's too early in the morning, Carl. Much too early.
Oh, is it?
Oh, there's Aunt Gussie.
She would show up just at a time like this.
Well, Aunt Gussie, what's the matter now?
I have palpitation of the auricular, ventricular, and mitral valves with a cardiac tendency.
You mean your heart's beating?
Of course it's beating. Dr. Von Neumann tried to assure me, but I know it's serious. I'm liable to go just like that.
Did he prescribe for you, dear?
Yes, monacid ester, salicylic acid.
You mean salicylic acid, don't
well,
you?
Salicylic, it helped me. My heart is much quieter. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
Oh, Carl, you will be good to her when I'm gone, won't you?
Yes, of course I will, Frau Schnappmann.
Well, I'm not gone yet. You can't marry her unless I say so. Don't forget that. Oh, my heart.
There, Auntie, you'll be all right. Just rest a while. What you need is...
What?
Rest, dear, and quiet. Aunt Gussie has a heart like a steam engine. Go on.
Don't you know it's wrong to steal? You've cut yourself.
See? Blood.
Yes. Stop it.
No hurt me. No hurt.
Oh, you poor thing. Now, you wait right here and I'll run in the house and get something for that finger. A subcutaneous wound like that might easily result in a tetanus infection.
Tetanus.
Lockjaw. Not that you need be afraid. From the way you talk, I think you've got it already. Look, here's a nice juicy apple for you.
Ah, this is it. Traits sur les appréciations des esprits et sur les vampires by Augustin Dom Calamé in 1746. Let us suppose that these corpses do not actually stir from their tombs, that only the ghosts or spirits appear to the living. Wherefore do these phantoms present themselves, and what is it that energizes them? Is it actually the soul of the dead man which has not yet departed to its final destination?
Fiddlesticks. Now, how could a corpse buried under 4 or 5 feet of earth get out to do any such foolishness? I don't believe it.
It's a fair question, Doctor. How could it?
Well, according to accepted theory, the vampire dematerializes its body and reintegrates it outside the grave.
It's a good explanation, if you can believe it. And while I'm standing here listening to all this rubbish, there's a poor man in the garden in danger of a tetanus infection. Now, what should I do for him, Doctor? Shall I apply mercurochrome or 2% solution of bichloride?
Well, either will do. Get some gauze and some mercurochrome.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll wait here.
Difficult to believe, isn't it? It's impossible to believe.
And yet, it would explain these deaths, wouldn't it?
Ah, Brett Schneider. Pardon our intrusion, Dr. von Niemann, but after what you saw last night, you'll be interested in this as well.
Well, what's happened?
Kringen was found dead an hour ago, with the 2 punctures in his neck and not a drop of blood in his body. And what's more, Herman Gleib has disappeared.
What? Now are you convinced that we were right and you were wrong?
That'd be proof enough for anybody. Kringen said Herman would get him, and he did.
Well, Brett Schneider?
I appoint you my deputy. Organize a searching party and comb this countryside from one end to the other. Find Herman Gleib and bring him in, but don't harm him. You understand?
What good will that do? He is a vampire. There's only one thing for us to do when we find him. Kill him and drive a stake through his
Herman
back.
Gleib will be tried by a court of law. If the charge against him is proven true, the law will decide what to do with him, not you. Now get your men together and do as I tell you.
That's the way to talk.
I'm going into town for a little while, Doctor. Would you care to come along?
Oh, I hardly believe so. There's little to be done until they find the boy. If you need me then,
All right, thanks. I'll let you know.
I feel I was going to faint.
Oh, there, Auntie, there's nothing here to be afraid of. Here comes Emil with your mercurochrome and bandages. Run along now and take care of that patient of yours.
Oh, heavens, I forgot all about him. Oh, my heart. Oh.
Poor Auntie. She's had every ailment in the book.
Well, a lot aren't, I'm afraid.
Particularly a palpitation of the auriculoventricular, tricuspid, and mitral valve, Doctor.
Well, I had to tell her something to satisfy her.
With 4 men and a girl to the territory of the 4 men who live by killing. A girl who has experienced so much that only sadistic brutality can thrill her. Vicious and violent men, attempting the most daring of daylight robberies, enjoying midnight revelries, until one orgy turns into a nightmare of terror. Ride the ski lift to the very top in thrills.
What I saw you wouldn't believe.
Watch men who deal in death meet and fight. The invincible beast from haunted cave.
Creation of the humanoids. Out of the atomic war came the perfect man, the humanoids, man's own creation. Physically and mentally perfect. Created to serve their masters. Men and women. But could man compete with this creation, the perfect man?
You love that machine?
I love Pax. He's dedicated to keeping me happy. And I am happy.
The robots are machines. They must be made to look like machines.
The perfect man, created by man, becomes man's worst enemy. Proceed! The most provocative story ever filmed. The most unusual story ever filmed. You must see it to believe it. The creation of the humanoids. The perfect man.
And now we return to the vampire bat, as Herman is being hunted by villagers with torches and hounds. I don't think this can end well.
Come on, men. Come on. We've got him. He can't get away from here now. Some of you go around that way. Come on. Go ahead. And if he tries to get past you, you know what to do. Come on, man. Get out of here. There it is, Bill. Here, boys. Herman, you're going back to the village with us. Come on. We won't hurt you.
No, won't go. I'm afraid.
Come on. You're going with us, Herman.
No.
You're going with us.
No.
Come on. No. Come on, Herman. Get him. Come on, Herman. We won't hurt you. Come on.
No.
Come, that settles him.
Yes, let's go. We got to get down the road.
You've got to make certain.
I won't go down there.
Nobody asked you to. I'll go myself.
Can you see him?
He's on a ledge about 50 feet down. I'll get a rope. We've got to make certain, I tell you.
You must be careful, Emil. Very careful. No. It must be. She's no better than the rest. I've got to go on.
Doctor. Good evening.
I'm sorry to have to disturb you, Doctor, but we simply couldn't make Georgiana hear the bell.
That's quite all right, my dear. Georgiana's becoming careless. Very careless.
Yes, I've noticed that, too. In my opinion, she has Nagana. That's sleeping sickness. You know the symptoms, Doctor. At first, I thought it was creeping paralysis, so I stuck a pin in her leg to see. And there was a splendid reaction of the reflex motor nerve.
Why, Auntie.
Oh, you're shocked. So was she.
Won't you join me in some coffee? Yes, thanks, Doctor. We will. There are a few questions I'd like to ask you, Paul.
About blood and murders and vampires, I suppose.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Well, so am I. Well, good night. If such a thing is possible, I'm going to bed.
Won't you join us too, Frau Schnappmann?
Coffee at this hour of the night? No, thank you. I'm going to stick to my monad Sylvester salicylic salad. Acid, Doctor, acid. Good night.
What's the news in the village, Carl? Have they located Herman yet?
No, not a trace of him. I hate to think of that poor misfit being hunted down like a dog. Do you know, I simply can't bring myself to believe in that vampire theory.
Will you pour, Ruth?
Certainly.
I know, Carl. Our saner, calmer judgment tells us that such things can't be, and yet, here, for instance, in this ponderous tome, are cited 1,001 phobias and complexes that human beings are heir to. Some of them are strange, more untenable even than werewolves and vampires. Could I have some more, please?
You drink entirely too much coffee.
That's my one weakness. And also my excuse for tolerating Georgiana's laxity and other things. She does know how to make good coffee. Thank you. She brings it to me every night at exactly 10 o'clock. And when I've drunk it all, then I know it's time to quit.
Yes, and eat breakfast so you can have more coffee.
No.
Georgiana, you mustn't lie like that. You'll get yourself a jar of coolers. No, sit next. Georgiana.
That was Auntie. Auntie. Oh, my baby. I'm all right. I'm all right now. Oh, so
Amy, help Frau Schnappmann to her room.
I'm silly imagination. I mentioned myself, Georgia.
The same 2 wounds, Doctor.
My last words to her were angry ones. A petulant reprimand for being late with my coffee.
What time is that?
About 2 or 3 minutes after 10.
She's been dead then about 45 minutes. Bloodless like the rest. It passes all belief. Ruth's aunt saw Herman Gleib in the garden this morning. Could it be that he... You were the first one here. What happened?
I was in my room reading. My door was open. I must have dozed off for a minute or so because I awoke to hear Frau Schnappmann scream.
You say your door was open?
Yes, my room is very poorly ventilated.
And you saw nothing? Heard nothing unusual?
Nothing.
Carl, what is it? This crucifix belonged to Martha. See who it is, Emil.
Can you positively identify this as belonging to Martha?
Without a doubt. I saw it in her room the night she died.
How in the world did it get here?
Herman Gleib was in her room. He had that crucifix in his hands. And Herman was here today.
Maybe here now, for all we know.
Well, well, well. we seem to have taken a serious swerve away from vampirism into mad science. Our good Dr. von Niemann is not so good after all, eh? Pinning all those vampire murders on poor Herman, when he's the one who's been sucking the blood out of the local residents to feed to whatever that sponge thing was in the aquarium. I mean, what was that thing anyway? Well, we may find out what that thing in the aquarium was and what Dr. von Niemann, that bloodsucker, has been doing after these bloodsuckers, well, you know.
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen is the name written in blood. Ika!
If I could just call you on the phone. The code of the ghost has the sign of the toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road.
Thrill to the newest recording star, Archibald Jr.
Oh, the scream in this way.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl.
Noah.
Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. They lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Iga's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Iga talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time. See Iga!
Who is it? Oh.
How is she?
She's had a real shock this time, but she'll be all right. I'm putting her to bed.
Leave her there. Don't let her out of this room. And don't you leave it either.
Well, what do you mean?
It looks as if Herman Blythe is the killer after all. It's possible he may be hiding here in the castle.
Well, what makes you think so?
I'll tell you later. Stay in your room and keep your door locked.
Don't worry about that.
I heard every word he said, and I don't think there's any use of them searching for Herman. They should look for a dog, a human-faced dog.
Andy, the doors and windows are all locked. There's nothing to be afraid of now.
Well, who said I was afraid? I'm not a bit afraid.
No, of course you're not afraid, but you must get some rest.
Rest in this awful place? With dog-faced Hermans and human-faced bats and blood and murders and vampires.
Find anything, Carl?
There's an unbroken cobweb in that window. If Herman did it, he came through the door.
He must have. And yet I don't understand how he could find his way up here without us hearing him. Yet Amy was asleep, and I was in the library. Yes, he could have done it. The facts all point to it. What was it, Emil?
The Burgermeister. He has news for Herr Brettschneider about Herman.
Oh.
Pardon the intrusion, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion. I knew Carl was here, and I thought you wouldn't mind if I ran in to tell him the news.
About Herman?
Yes. He fell into the Devil's Well in the cave.
He's dead?
Dead as a doornail. This ends our troubles, Carl. The vampire's dead. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, your bones may be wrong. What time did this happen?
Quite early, about 9 o'clock. The cave is nearly 2 hours from here. That's why we didn't hear it sooner.
Well, it may interest you to know that there's been another death after your vampire died. Dr. von Niemann's housekeeper. Right here in her own room.
Mother of mercy. What are we going to do?
But a natural death wouldn't kill a vampire, Carl. You know the accepted theory. A stake driven through the heart.
Oh, yes, that's the theory, all right.
But
what?
But they did. They drove a stake through his heart.
Good God, are we living in the Middle Ages?
It wasn't through my sanction, Carl. Basawa did it. He told me so himself.
Well, that ends the vampire theory as far as I'm concerned. Herman Gleib died in the accepted fashion for killing a vampire. Oh, no, there's some human agency at work here, Doctor. A madman who kills to satisfy some violent, sadistic urge.
Yes, you're right, Carl. I've been a fool, a superstitious fool.
Did they leave his body in the cave?
Yes. Yes, they did.
Well, in view of what's happened, don't you think you owe him a decent burial?
You're right. In view of what has happened, we do owe him that, Carl. I'll see to it at once, this very instant. And I'll make arrangements for Georgiana's removal to the morgue. Good night, Doctor. Pardon the intrusion.
Good night, Gustav.
Pardon the intrusion.
Well, here I am, just where I started weeks ago. There isn't a single theory that doesn't lead straight into a stone wall. I've jested about this vampire business because my better judgment told me it was a lot of nonsense. Then I reached the point where I was willing to accept even that, because it seemed to satisfy the equation.
All of it a bit superstitious.
I don't know which way to turn, where to look, what to look for. Why should anyone want human blood? Why? Why?
Calm yourself, Carl.
Calm myself? Calm myself? With all these unsolved murders staring me in the face and no solution in sight? How much blood is there in the human body, Doctor?
About 6 liters, approximately.
Can you think of any purpose for which that amount of blood might be used?
No. Not even in transfusions.
That's the point which stops me. There isn't any other use for human blood. Murderers leave clues. And these atrocities are murders, Doctor. Those simple fools in the village can believe what they like, but you and I are sane, thinking people. And you know and I know, Doctor, that these are murders. The last one was done here. In this very house, right under this roof. All right, I'll start here. I'm going over every foot of this place, both inside and out. Nobody, sane or insane, is clever enough to get away with murder without leaving a clue of some sort. And I'm going to find that clue.
Oh, come, Carl. You mustn't let your nerves run away with you. Here. These will help to give you a good night's sleep. If there are any clues, they'll be here in the morning when your nerves are calm and your mind is clear. Take my advice and go home and rest.
I imagine 1,000 demons were after me as I came down those stairs.
Look, didn't I tell you to stay in your room?
Yes, but I wanted the doctor to come up and quiet Auntie. You know, it isn't her imagination this time.
Of course, Ruth. I'll come right away. Take my advice, young man. Go home and go to bed.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Ruth.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Doctor.
Take my advice and go home and rest.
I imagine 1,000 demons were after me as I came down those stairs.
Look, didn't I tell you to stay in your room?
Yes, but I wanted the doctor to come up and quiet Auntie. You know, it isn't her imagination this time.
Of course, Ruth. I'll come right away. Take my advice, young man. Go home and go to bed.
It looks like the audio tracking went off in that scene a little bit, huh? You know, sometimes that'll happen in just 1 or 2 scenes in a movie. And sometimes it'll leak into my segments, and when that happens, it's really... Uh-oh. Yeah, sounds like it's happening again. All right, let me get this thing adjusted here. Hello? Hello, testing. Hello, too far. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, how's that? How's that? The sound okay? Oh, hey, all right, great, I fixed it. We'll be right back.
When an animal attacks a human, there's bound to be a lot of noise.
But I, as a scientist, take many things into consideration a layman might overlook.
Ever smelled anything like this before? Found it in Don Morton's bathroom.
Well, yes. That's the same stuff that's been on every one of the devil bat's victims.
All 4 of the murdered people had this lotion on them when the devil bat struck.
Layton, I'm afraid all these murders have affected your mind.
Now, my plan is to sit in the garden, and when the killer makes one of those power dives, I'll blast him.
Tonight you have work to do. It's time you were on your way.
For 2 million years in these subterranean caves, a creature of superhuman evil was entombed in a wall of ice, waiting to be free, waiting to live again. Travel with us on a journey into a world where nightmare becomes reality.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got onto that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Travel with us, if you dare, on the Horror Express.
We'll search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it. But if it's alive...
I want this kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
The malignant power of this creature is indestructible, transferring its force from mind to mind, from body to body.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives.
The animal that you shot was only the host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You saw his eyes. One look at them and you're dead.
Anything that moves near that door, kill it!
Run. Run for your life. Hide, but you can't escape. No one can stop the fury and the terror of the Horror Express.
And now on to the conclusion of The Vampire Bat, as Dr. von Niemann's secrets are revealed. And after that, I've got a very special surprise for all you geeks out there.
If his lights are on, you must wait, Emil. Wait until he has gone to bed. Handle him as you did the others, Emil. You are strong. Very strong. I am waiting for you. Waiting for you to bring him to the laboratory.
You're the one. What mad thing are you doing?
Mad? Is one who has solved the secret of life to be considered mad? Life, created in the laboratory. No mere crystalline growth, but tissue. Living, growing tissue. Life that moves, pulsates, and demands food for its continued growth. You shudder in horror. So did I the first time. But what are a few lives be weighed in the balance against the achievement of biological science? Think of it. I have lifted the veil. I have created life. Wrested the secret of life.
from life. Now do you understand? For the lives of those who have gone before, I have created life.
I'll tell Carl.
You may. For tonight, Carl's name will be added to yours. And all of those whom this achievement will immortalize.
I didn't take your sleeping tablets, Doctor.
Emil brought them here. He's the one who murdered them.
Stay where you are. You'll have a chance to tell everything, Doctor.
I'll take care of Von Niemann. Get her out of here.
You stay here. Von Niemann and Emil.
Dr. Von Niemann. Carl, she mustn't see them.
Where is Dr. Van Nieuwen? I must see him immediately.
Augusta, you can't. He can't be disturbed.
Oh, but I must see him. I simply must. That hydrous magnesium sulfate he gave me is affecting me most peculiarly. You pardon me?
Hydrous magnesium sulfate. Why, that's Epsom salts.
Really, Doc? A lump of tissue? Henry Frankenstein created an entire monster in less time. Yes, I know he sewed the body of the monster together from other dead bodies, but the results were a lot more satisfying than Globby the Wonder Sponge there. Oh, and the doctor's apparently hypnotized assistant Emil may look familiar to you nerve-wracking theater fans. He was played by Robert Fraser, who played the underhanded Charles Beaumont in the Bela Lugosi classic White Zombie that we presented here earlier. And now, my lords and ladies, because The Vampire Bat was a film on the shorter side, we'll have a special bonus film for you about a very different kind of bat. After this.
Bound by no earthly law, possessing weird and enormous powers, these strange teenagers from outer space invade the Earth and prepare to possess its women. Nothing can stop their deadly advance. Earthmen are no match for their superhuman powers. They blast the flesh off humans. A moment before, she was a beautiful young girl. Now, she's a skeleton.
And now, my lords and ladies, as promised, we have a special short film for you about a very different kind of bat. Well, strictly speaking, it's not so much about the bat as the bat's enemy. And the bat I'm talking about is the Dark Knight himself, Batman. And Batman's greatest enemy, of course, is the Joker. My lords and ladies, I found this short film from 1963 entitled The Joker, and while I haven't seen it myself, it promises to be all about the origins of the clown prince of crime himself. My lords and ladies, without further ado, I give to you The Joker.
Open. I'll see you. Halligan. Cards. Be the next three. I'll play these. I have to check. I got one. I'll see you, and, bet the works. It's too steep for me. I'll call. Three, 7, 8, 9, and the Joker.
Oh, hold it, Joe, boy. An honest ace-high flush and a lady to go with it. Your friend the Joker just got you in trouble.
And I'll be damned.
Should I tell him or you?
Why? He's learning.
Oh, come on, what's the gag? Learning what? Look, you just bent your shirt because you had the Joker, right?
Well, sure. I made my flush with it. Wouldn't you?
With the Joker?
Not us.
And we already did. Both of us. And never again, brother. Never again.
That's okay, fellas. Once is enough for me.
A steel fabricating plant where no crews are working is a quiet place, safe and sound. No lifts swinging overhead. No hot rivets flying through the air. No buggies moving. No wheels turning. No chips flying. Officially, there's only one kind of job being done, and it's a quiet one. But unofficially, in every plant everywhere, there's another kind of job being done, and the guy who does it works 24 hours a day. This eager, insidious fellow is no friend of anybody's. He doesn't take time out for lunch, not even a coffee break. He belongs to no union. He's on nobody's payroll. You've heard of impossible accidents? He's the guy who makes them possible. He's the Joker.
Lost time. That's my specialty. And it looks like this is going to be one hell of a good day today. I've been checking this mill all night. And with the help of a couple of patsies, I figure today's a great day for a couple of bone-busting, limb-crushing, lost-time accidents. And you know what that means. Stretchers, pain pills, confusion, compensation checks, crutches, canes, wheelchairs. Oh, this accident business is just one laugh after another. But it ain't easy. People are too safety conscious. You gotta work on them. Sometimes it takes years. And lots of psychology. Hang around. You might learn a few things.
Yeah, hello, Shady Sprocket Films? Yes, I ordered a short film from you called The Joker to show on my TV show, Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Theater. And Wrackin Theater. Wrackin. No, not bushwhackin'. I don't show westerns. Anyway, I ordered this film called The Joker that I thought was all about the Batman villain, the Joker. Batman. You know, Bruce Wayne and all that. Yeah, right. Anyway, I thought this short film was all about the Batman villain, the Joker, and it's not. It's about industrial safety. It's got Hans Conried in it in some kind of a clown suit plotting accidents at a steel mill. A steel mill. Yeah, Hans Conried. Hans Conried, you know, he was the voice of Captain Hook in Disney's Peter Pan. He was in The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T. He was the voice of Snidely Whiplash in Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, he's great. He's not the problem. Look, I ordered this film called The Joker. I thought it was about the Batman villain, the Joker, and I want my money back. Well, did I read the description? Well, no, I didn't read the description of the film. It was entitled The Joker. What else was it going to be about, you know? Look, it doesn't matter if I read the description of the film or not. I want my money back. And hello? 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 You know, this whole Batman and the Joker thing is kind of played out anyway, don't you think, my lords and ladies? Let's get back to this bonus short film, The Joker, and let's all learn about industrial safety in a steel mill, because learning is good.
Hey, Eddie, why crack your brain over a little problem like this? You got real ones. Like, remember what that flat-mouthed wife of yours said at breakfast?
Why can't you be like other men? Can't you be like Jane's husband? She gets a new dress every week, and I haven't had a new dress for years.
Go on, Eddie. You ain't got all day. A little extra blocking will be good enough. lady. That's the way.
Yes, that's the way, Eddie. The way to set a booby trap for a friend. When Fred eventually comes back to work, he won't be the man he used to be.
How's that for getting a day off to a good start? You know how much lost time I'm writing up on Fred? 300 days. Oh, I'm going to keep that Eddie around for a while. He's a big help. Getting a guy's mind off his job. That's my system. Distraction. You gotta be some kind of screwball to want to hurt yourself or your buddies. But you gotta be only human to daydream on the job. And all of these guys are only human. Now you take some of those guys back there in pre-assembly. There's one of my favorite places. Come on, I'll show you.
Assume the position and open your minds wide. It's time for your cranial cavity search. Yes, my lords and ladies, the cranial cavity search. Here's a chance for you great geeks out there to prove your geek cred by showing what you know. And tonight's cranial cavity search question is, the Joker, the real Joker, Batman's arch nemesis, made his debut in Batman issue number 1 in 1940. The inspiration for the look of the Joker came from a classic silent film released many years before. From which classic silent film did the inspiration for the Joker come? A. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. B. The Phantom of the Opera. C. Nosferatu. Or D. The Man Who Laughs. Well, my lords and ladies, if we can't see a film about the Joker, at least I can ask you a question about the Joker. Oh, and speaking of things that are questionable, and the answer to tonight's cranial cavity search question. Which classic silent film inspired the look for the Joker? It was D. The Man Who Laughs. Yes, my lords and ladies, The Man Who Laughs, the silent classic from 1928, starring the great Conrad Veidt. It's about a man who was disfigured as a child, setting his mouth into a permanent, menacing grin. Bill Finger, one of the creators of Batman, saw that movie and thought that that clownish, evil face would make a great villain. And he was right. But now, my lords and ladies, let's have a look at that other Joker as we have more time to fill. As we learn more about industrial safety, which is always important. Oh, just roll the movie. Just roll it.
Remember, the secret is distraction. Watch this. How are you, Howie? How's the bowling team doing these days? I hear you boys are going for the championship tonight. And that you're top man on the team. That's a mighty good right hand you got there, Howie. A mighty fine right hand. I did it after all those years. Boy, what a chump. Lost time? You betcha. I'm proud of this one, and I got a right to be. You gotta keep your eyes open these days. Not everybody would have spotted how he wasn't wearing safety shoes. What a day I got going, huh? 2 lost time accidents. Ooh-wee! Love those cranes!
Far more routine for the Joker are injuries to hands and fingers caused by pinch points, but which might be better described as mangle points.
Oh, so what's a couple of fingers? You don't need 2 good hands anyway. The way I see it, 1 hand's all you'll need to go over all those bills you won't be able to pay out of your compensation check. You know, I came up in this business when the only safety motto you ever heard was, don't bleed on the steel. Sentimental, wasn't it? Well, it's all changed now. They got these safety guys crawling all over the place. Everywhere you look, they got these crazy safety posters, slogans, mottos. It's enough to drive you nuts. Hiya, Bob. How's that nice weather suit you? Get you thinking about better things, huh, Bob? Hey, boy, you do all right. Just don't let your work take your mind off of her,
Mark up another one for the Joker. Every once in a while, the Joker gets himself a man out in the loading area, too. The Joker distracted him. He forgot to clear the hooks under the member and attach them to the ring before signaling the craneman.
To tell the truth, I don't like it to end that way. What are you going to do? Steel's heavy. You can't always tell what's going to happen. Wow, that ain't my problem. My problem, my biggest one, is working on guys who won't go along. Take Tom Daniels, for instance. That guy's as stubborn as a mule. I've never been able to get him distracted. Just look at that clean aisle he's working in. Disgusting. He's even got a threshold plate over that welding cable. And metatarsal shoes. It's enough to make you sick. Hey, Tom, look it. Bet you'd like to have a new outboard, wouldn't you? Okay, Tom, let's hurry this job up, huh? Come on, let's swing her along there. Cut out all this slow, cautious stuff. Come on, Tom. All right, you square. Guys like Tom Daniels burn me. Always keeping their minds on what they're doing. I ain't had a bad day at that. 4 out of 5. Sometimes, though, it goes the other way. I get maybe 2, 3 solid months of guys like Daniels. Then it gets pretty discouraging. But I don't give up. I told you this accident business takes a lot of brains. It sure does. But sometimes it takes something more. Patience. Or would you believe it? I've had to wait around 15 or 20 years for some guys to play patsy for me. But I can wait. Time's on my side. When a guy does a job long enough, he gets to thinking he's accident-proof. He starts taking little shortcuts, so he just forgets, and nothing happens. They get right. And then comes the day I get them distracted. Just for a second, it's all the time it takes, and pow! They're mine. Woo-wee, they thought they were accident-proof. What patsies? How about you, old buddy? Are you accident-proof? You want to bet? See you around.
Well, he was a scary little pixie, wasn't he? I mean, not quite the Joker I was expecting, but still pretty evil. The only thing is, though, he needed a superhero to fight, you know? Someone like the Safety Sentinel or Captain Conscientious. Oh, I know. OSHA, Thwarter of Hazards. Thwarter? Well, I might need to rethink that. Anyway, my lords and ladies, I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to invite you all back again next week when we'll do whatever this is all over again. As always, I am Lord Blood-Rah saying, geek out.